I booked one of the ski lodges because the storm hit and it was so bad. They opted not to go. However, in that time frame, and I'm not trying to get a refund because I already know that that's not a possibility. And I'm a little confused because it's more like an Airbnb, if I understand correctly, and there is no check-in. So how could you guys actually confirm that we were there? Because the last email that we received stated that there was a lockbox to get the keys out of. So I'm a little confused.
Okay. How about the phone number attached to the reservation so I can see what we're talking about? Let me see what I got here. Okay, and today would have been the last night in the reservation, correct?
I honestly can't remember, but I believe so, yes. What's today? Wednesday, yes.
Yeah, I know today's the 3rd because I've been here 11 years, so that one's easy.
Right.
They didn't do anything to answer. There's a rental agreement. Nobody answered it, so it wasn't going to let them get the codes. But let's see what I have for a code here.
So there was a rental agreement, but it was never answered, so they didn't actually send the login codes or secure codes, correct?
Well, let me see.
I understand. I'm trying to get to the bottom of this because if there was no code sent, then nobody had access to the room because nobody went. That's my point. And that's what I'm trying to get to the bottom of. Again, we're not trying to get a refund. That's not what we're after. What I'm after is to make sure it's very clear, especially on said recorded line, that there is no staff there. Although, like you said, it's not an Airbnb, it's still you show up and there's what the email I understood was you show up and you put a code into a box and you get a key and then you go in the room and then you just do the right things at the room. Not like go to a front hotel desk and provide driver's license.
No, but what you do, okay, we'll give you a code,
right.
Okay? On the date of arrival, which would have been on the 1st, at 6:11 a.m. Pacific time, it was emailed, a check-in email with the codes.
Okay.
Okay? Now, because they went through Booking.com, it went to them and then to him. But when they put the code in the lock to go in, everybody knows that he's there.
Okay. Where is the proof that they're actually there?
I don't know. I would have to reach out to the property manager.
What we're trying to verify is this is an Airbnb situation, correct? So there's keys in a lockbox, correct? So if there's no staff, there's no front desk check-in, how did anyone verify that they checked in?
They have multiple ways that they can check in. Key codes can be scanned, digitally. They can be ran by that. They can drive by the unit. Some homeowners have outside cameras. There's many different ways. Like when you have a reservation, it's the person on the reservation, you're the responsible party.
Right.
And then whoever checks in at that point, that's under your care. So it doesn't matter who checks in. Was there something more that you were trying to get resolved here? So
right.
Maybe I can answer it that way.
Is there a way for them to say who checked in? Are they saying that Jeremy Dewitte checked in?
I don't think you ID people as they walk through a door unless there's a front desk check-in in that city, and I don't think that area has one. I will reword that so...
Right, I need to confirm that there's no front... that's what I need to confirm, is there's no front desk check-in, nobody provided ID.
right, I'm going to place you on a brief hold here. One moment.
Sure. You can hear me now?
Okay. Yes, I can. Okay. So I reached out to get a little bit more information here. The information is emailed to the reservation holder, and you're able to get into the units, or you have the option to email that to anyone in your group so they have access to your unit there.
So at no point in time do they actually check in with a staff member or show ID for check-in or keys like that?
I don't have 100% that information.
You just said that you get the email and then they get in, correct?
I did.
Okay, thank you. All right, and that brings us to Mr. Jeremy Dewitte's case, 2020 CF 3570. State. And for the defense.
I'm here, Lydian, on behalf of Mr. Dewitte, Your Honor. Good morning again.
Good morning. So have you all had an opportunity to visit about the state's motion and attempt to resolve the issues raised by the state's motion?
Your Honor, the state has provided me with some additional documentation, but I received it and reviewed it about 15 minutes ago or so, and it's not anything that I'm in a position to really absorb. It's some AT&T cell records with coordinates that I have no way to discern without going back and spending probably a few hours trying to figure out what's what. More importantly, though, Judge, I'm not aware of any warrant that would have given law enforcement the right to actually seek those records and try to admit them before the court today. So I don't know that we're even going to get to that particular issue unless the court rules contrary to what I think you would rule. So that's a long way of saying no.
All right. So I asked Ms. Cooper to set this for a hearing. The state filed the motion, and I had rendered an order, and then I rescinded the order upon receiving word from Mr. Ledan's office that he wanted to have a hearing. I set this for a status because I think I have the authority under the rule, 3.131G, I think, to revoke pretrial release if there's a violation of a condition of release. But that raises the next issue of conditions of release because I don't believe this case is a case where pretrial detention can be ordered under the Constitution. That would mean the state would have to file a motion for pretrial detention. So I think, anyway, I guess what I want to know is how you all want to proceed. I don't think today can be an evidentiary hearing.
Right. Your Honor, the state does have a Detective Law Enforcement team ready to provide testimony. I have the exhibits tomorrow, including the business record certification, which were provided to Mr. Ledan this morning. The cell phone records are voluminous. There are over 200 pages of the document that's relevant to the location violation. So if we're not ready to proceed on the hearing today, then I would just ask that you accept fairly quickly. Mr. Dewitte also has a number of cases pending in Orange County where a similar motion will be filed shortly. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, at least 10 cases pending in Orange County, including for the same charges here, as well as a number of impersonating law enforcement officer cases, where he is also in violation, the state is in violation of his pretrial release conditions by leaving the state of Florida this week.
All right. This is not a case that I was aware of until it popped up on my radar this week, because I'm obviously new to this division. Mr. Ledan, how much time do you need to prepare for an evidentiary hearing? And it sounds like you may be preparing for an evidentiary hearing in Orange as well. So what's the status of the Orange cases, if you know?
I know, Judge. I'm handling all of Mr. Dewitte's cases, and I've represented Metro State for many years, so I'm very familiar with their company in general. First of all, thank you for rescinding the order and setting this for a status hearing this morning. I was a bit taken aback that the order got granted without an evidentiary hearing to begin with, in part because all we have, or at least had, were screenshots of reservations that were made, none of which would indicate or affirm that he ever left the jurisdiction, and one of which didn't even relate back to him. I'm sure the state has their view of those things, and we're not going to litigate them this morning, but my frustration was born out of the fact that while the court absolutely has the discretion to revoke a bond where there's been a showing of a violation, this information that was attached is actually, in my view, Your Honor, inadmissible in a hearing, hasn't been substantiated, and is not sufficient evidence of a violation. So if the state intends to go forward with this and perhaps whatever was submitted to me this morning, I'm going to want to talk to Ms. Day to see if we can have a meeting of the minds as to whether proof of a reservation is proof of actually leaving, so that we can maybe short-circuit some of the arguments that are going to come up before Your Honor and the other Orange County judges. As it relates to preparing for the hearing, I didn't even know it was 200-something pages long. I just knew it was a lot of coordinates that I couldn't make heads or tails of. So I need at least a few hours to absorb it, and then try to get with someone that can break it down for me and explain to me what those coordinates relate back to. And then, of course, I don't know what the court schedule is, but certainly, we have quite a few of these video hearings as well. So I'll make myself available. Today I had 2 other hearings that I had to hand off to associates to make sure I was here for Mr. Dewitte, and I'll do what I need to do that again. But I would suggest, if it's at all possible, we set it for a Friday when we don't have a million other things going on, so that we can be dedicated to this purpose.
What's the status of the Orange cases? Do you have any hearings coming up there, or maybe they haven't even filed the motion yet there?
To my knowledge, nothing's been filed on any of the cases. I've got a motion that's getting filed on the Windermere case, which is kind of the wellspring of how law enforcement even came into contact with Mr. Dewitte and seized videos that are the predicate for a lot of their claims. And so I think as that case goes, so goes probably 90% of these cases. And so that motion to suppress will likely be dispositive of a lot of things.
All right. And that's in Orange.
The Orange County cases are currently set for pre-trial conference on April 13th, and A.S.A. Miller, who is assigned to all the Orange County cases, I was in contact with him. He was waiting for the business record certification. The company is based out of Oregon, so they are 3 hours behind, which is why I didn't get it until last night and disclosed it this morning.
Okay. What I would like you all to be discussing, I guess, is the next issue, which is conditions of release, if there are to be any, because unless there is a basis for pretrial detention, revoking release just sets up the next phase, which is the hearing on appropriate conditions of re-release. Not that I have to explain myself, Mr. Ledan, but the way I viewed it when it came across my desk was I was looking at it more from a probable cause determination, as if it were revocation for a new law violation, which can be done on the basis of mere probable cause. After your office reached out, I did some more in-depth research and decided in an abundance of caution that I should rescind the order and do the hearing first, although that's a little different than happens, for instance, with notice of failures to appear or new law violations. But based on my research, I decided to take the more prudent course and reverse course and do it this way. So, thank you.
If I may,
yes.
The motion that outlined 2 potential cases for revocation, first being that he has left the state or, more importantly, Orange County jurisdiction. But the last line of the motion, I believe it's the last line, also indicates that Detective Lincourt has submitted an incident for failing to register for leaving, since he is a registered sex offender and has to notify the sheriff's office if he's going to leave the state, and did not do that. And that's why I had Detective Lincourt this morning to be able to elicit that testimony that he did conduct the address check. He had left and he didn't notify the sheriff's office, which is why he opened up a new case for failure.
Had left where, though? I mean, I think there may be another element that would need to be introduced to get where you're wanting to go with that.
And I do have that evidence and testimony available, but I understand that Mr. Levine would like some time to review it.
So today is Thursday. We could do it tomorrow, but I don't think, if we're going to have a true evidentiary hearing, I don't think a day is really adequate notice. So, Mr. Ledan, I'm in trial the week of the 15th, and I do think the last word I had is that we will be doing trials that week. So next week is going to be the last opportunity to do something virtually. Ms. Cooper, what does Friday the 12th look like?
I'll look right now. Judge, it's a competency morning.
So it's a full morning. What day is going to be best next week?
Let me look on the 11th.
I'm not seeing anything scheduled other than arraignments on the 11th. Are competency matters actually set that day?
I believe the 11th is Judge Morgan's funeral.
Oh, that's right. And Judge Myers entered an administrative order that we can't schedule things after a certain time that day.
Is that a public ceremony, Your Honor?
It is, but there isn't going to be a whole lot of room. It's going to be on the lawn of the historic courthouse.
Oh, okay.
And the family asked for a judicial procession, and there will be seating, but I don't know if it's reserved or first come, first serve. You could ask Court Admin if you're interested, Mr. Ledan.
I will. Thank you, Judge.
All right, let's plan on the 9th. It looks like I only have 3 arraignments and a status hearing so far that morning.
If I may just inquire with Detective Lincourt on team if the 9th in the morning would work. I'm sure he would do it. Can you hear us, Detective Lincourt?
He's on mute.
You're on mute.
Yeah, I hear you.
Are you still on February 9th in the morning?
Yeah, I'm fine. I work that morning. I'll be fine.
Okay, thank you.
All right, let's plan. Let me take a look at the status. That's a probation condition status, so that won't take long. And it is set for can't tell what time it's set for. Mr. Ledan, are you available, say, at 9:30 on the 9th?
I'll make myself available. I've got a pretrial in Division 15 that's virtual, and I'm sure we'll figure that out. I'll handle it.
Okay. Let's say 9:30. And if you all anticipate any evidentiary issues that cannot be handled easily by teams, we can make it in person.
All right, well, the pins and needles will have to reset for the day. We are postponed until the 9th, the day before my birthday. So now we're going to redo the hearing, I guess, an evidential hearing on the 9th for the same thing, to provide the evidence that they have. They provided my attorney the evidence at the last second yesterday or today. You see the tow truck. Can you guys see that? See our tow truck, our other cruisers, you know. So nothing like all the parking issues that we have with all the stuff we have. Anyways, so yeah, that was postponed, and I'll be free until, well, I'm hoping I'll be free, period, but I'll be free, and we'll have the hearing on the 9th. I know that this will go out soon. We'll air this soon, and go from there. The only things that they did provide to my attorney is okay, so sorry, I had a business call. Anyways, anyhow, so they postponed everything, and we will see what happens in the next couple of days. For those that didn't know, my birthday is the 10th, so we will be having a hearing about my freedom on evidence of just pictures of downloaded information from my phone, where I just took screenshots of the reservations. So I don't know what else to say. That's where we're at. But the everything's on hold until the 9th, and then we'll see what happens. But free for today. I guess it was a good day. Every day outside, home with the family and my daughter and my wife is a great day. We have 2 escorts tomorrow. Right now, we're currently slotted for 11 on Saturday. So things are going very well. We just need to keep the good momentum going. And of course, Amir did an amazing job today. He was able to postpone everything. I mean, obviously he couldn't get everything disposed of today, but I know he will in due course. It's just a matter of following the procedures and doing the due diligence that they must do. So, hope to talk to you guys soon. I am not even supposed to be at work today, but as you saw, I was at the office. So I'm gonna go get coffee, and then I'm gonna go home and spend time with my family. I've been spending a lot of time with my family as of late, my wife and my daughter, in fear of what the future might hold. Because apparently screenshots and emails and things that aren't actually confirmed, or pictures that aren't confirmed, is enough to arrest me and put me in cause of losing my life and my family. Again, I don't know how it's even possible or legal. You say you have pings of my phone from AT&T. Why and how did you get a warrant? Because you utilized a screenshot that I booked a room for somebody in my name? And a judge gave you a warrant to contact AT&T, a probable cause warrant? How is that possible? And we're going to start answering questions, and we're going to start doing some of the things you guys are asking, looking at the cars on the inside. So, anyways, enough of that. Talk to you guys soon. Be safe. Alright guys, so just touching base real fast. on the way back to the house from the office, got the tires in, got stuff done. But what I want to talk about is I got a call today from California. So I just got the call from Dr. Phil's staff. Very, very nice people. The ladies there for Dr. Phil are amazing. The fact that they're so organized and put together and they get things squared away for him is amazing. But anyways, so yeah, the show is going to be airing the 17th and get this, the 18th as well. They have so much proof and they have so much information that I'm not impersonating, and there's a lot of corruption, that they've made it 2 episodes. Now, don't get me wrong, I know there's some things that will be on the show that will make me kind of look bad. That's what Dr. Phil does. He tries to get to the bottom of the truth by showing the wrong, but also showing the right. And you will actually see yourself that Dr. Phil later on supports us. Again, it's going to be 2 episodes, not just 1, but 2, because it's so much information. Anyways, Dr. Phil, the 17th and 18th, Motor One's moving.